Hello and welcome to my review of Lost. I've finally seen Lost. It's 2024. Lost, wow. Lost's been about 15 years, give or take, since Lost aired. Like 2006 it started, 2005. Go back way, it was a while ago. This is going to be a bit of a random review. So I picked up Lost like that, £5. About over a year ago, but it popped up on the channel when I got it. £5 for the whole series, and that is victim of, oh, it's on Disney Plus, don't need that. Into a charity shop it goes, sits on the shelf, and you know, what a bargain. That is retail about £60 if you're going to buy it brand new. And when it comes to Lost, it's hard for me personally to keep up with modern TV shows trending, working at HMV. Someone completely spoiled Prison Break when I was watching it. Someone completely spoiled A Time to Die, Day to Die, last James Bond film. No Time to Die came out of the picture. Now guess what? I'm like, wow, congratulations, you've just spoiled the film. Got a friend called Gary who spoiled WrestleMania for us this morning. He would have spoiled it if I hadn't stayed up to 5 o'clock this morning to watch it. That's a different story. But yeah, it's hard to evolve. It's hard to keep up with what's going on with TV shows, and I think it's a little bit different now from when Lost came along, because now TV shows come completely just dropped, and it's not like talking about an episode, it's binge watching an episode, binge watching an entire series. Like the whole series is dropped. Yeah, guess what happens? And you're like, I've seen one episode, and you've not obviously been at work, and you've just watched the entire season, and that's what happens now. And I think Lost is like one of them last good ones where people were really on it. Now, when Lost came out, I wasn't working at HMV. It was after I'd worked for HMV for a period of time. I was working with my friend Conrad in the nightclubs, and Conrad was absolutely obsessed with Lost, and episode weekly TV taped. So I'd seen bits and bobs of Lost. Conrad would be constantly watching it in the pub, and I would catch bits, and of course you're off doing other stuff, and Loft's all over the place anyway, and I now know that. And you know, I put it on, and I was like, right, okay, I don't know anything about it. Now there's a funny few coincidences about Lost. I mean, I've actually travelled all the way around the world because my parents live in New Zealand. I've been to Fiji, I've been across the area, the Trans-Panic line before. I've done that. I've spent far too much time on the aeroplane, and you can't just help crap yourself when you know that happens, and turbulence and all that kind of thing. And just unless you've been on a really long haul flight, you kind of just like, oh, you know, I kind of always feel a bit on edge. But Lost came along, and as I said, I've seen bits and bobs with Conrad, I think up until like season 2. But again, I was never up for watching episodic TV shows. Never at that time had Sky. Always been a VHS DVD kind of guy. And you know, I even remember the video game, and I remember them talking about the button. And there's a funny coincidence here with Lost. So in the first season of the cast, you've got some people who are unknown, but a lot of people have come on to be quite famous. There's a couple of people who were in stuff like Silver Bullet. The guy who plays Locke, he's in Silver Bullet. So I instantly recognised him. A lot of the cast were up and coming. Ian Somerhalder was a big one. And Ian Somerhalder plays Boone in the first series, and it's quite weird this, because I was aware of Ian Somerhalder being in Lost when we hired him for the tournament. So I hadn't seen it, but when I met Ian, one of the films I talked about Ian was Rules of Attraction, because I thought it was a really good film. Now, so the first couple of seasons of Lost's filmed. Ian Somerhalder gets killed off as he falls out the airplane, meets his demise there. But he basically, here again, he's a tournament. He's the German poster. He's the original poster anyway. Which, please tap out. It's the German one. No, it's got a bit of a spillage on it, literally. There you go. Vin Rames, strange story after I finished Lost. I watched Baby Boy, Vin Rames popped up in that, Small World. Robert Carlyle, Kelly Hu and Sebastian Foucault's down here as well. Some tower buildings, a flipping car. Yeah. Ian Somerhalder's name is at the top though. So again, that was the original kind of concept poster. Now there will be an outtake about this poster. So yeah, basically Ian came over to Bulgaria filmed some bits, went away for a couple of weeks, came back, filmed some more bits, and then gone. And I didn't see him again until about a year and a half ago. And when the tournament finally came out in the UK, Ian Somerhalder was added to the front cover. A really bad Photoshop job going down there. It's grim. It's grim. But again, Ian Somerhalder had this massive burst of popularity from Lost to Vampire Diaries. They were actually filming the Vampire Diaries test screen with Kelly who lived next door to us in Bulgaria with the cameras for the audition and stuff like that. So it's all going down. So when I'm watching Lost, first season comes along, I have no idea what the smoke monster is. I was aware of the smoke monster, I know it was a polar bear. I didn't know the ending, I didn't know anything. I just watched this and jumps back and forth. I love the interactive menu screens. Again, this is a TV show I've watched to fall asleep with. So like every Blu-ray screen, even though the smart view thing absolutely did my head in. And the first season had the adverts for Lost season 4. Spoiler. But everyone was quite like, if you fall asleep, you would have like tropical rainforest, or you would have a beach scene, or there's one where it's the microwave of Hurley, or the van just driving around in circles. Again, interactive DVD menu screens that you would probably put on YouTube just to fall asleep to, like relaxation. So they didn't beat about the bush of all that kind of stuff. And it's 6 seasons. Now, once I got past season 1, and then starting to go, right, what's this saying? So season 1's kind of the crash, the aftermath, and then the others come in season 2, and then you've got the button, and it just starts jumping all over the place. It's really hard to keep up with. But if you're in it for the long haul, you know it's done, you know it's dusted, it's okay. Back in the day, trying to keep up with this every week, fuck, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it back then. And obviously buying these series as they come out. But just sit there and just chug away at this. I like the characters that start to build. I wasn't aware that Ian Somerhalder came back in it multiple times, so it's kind of like Ian Somerhalder left, came to work with us, went back in the Lost. So again, he's me watching it, and I generally think right now in life we are in a bit of a matrix and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe the Earth's flat, but there's just so many coincidences about purgatory and the afterlife. It's like, this has really got to you with this. You're like, whoa, the sky's the limit of what's impossible and not impossible. I love the myth of the Bermuda Triangle. I've been to Fiji and that kind of areas as well, so I always like the discovery of stuff as well. I liked the other side of the island, the rendezvous, the catch-ups, and then I was totally unaware of the flip between each series, how the series flips back and it goes back to, they don't time travel back in time and they're stuck in the past and stuck in the present. They got off the island, they didn't get off the island. I got really confused with all that. But again, I liked it how they started flipping stuff. The last season coming in where it's like the side, fucking like the what if angle, where they're going with this. What happens if you press the button, what happens if you don't press the button, where the fuck the polar bears come from. John Locke becomes dead and then he's a smoke monster. Then there's a guy called Jacob and the big fucking statue, and you think, what's this? Adam and Eve in purgatory. The French signal, the long-term storytelling that seems to just go out the window then come back. The guy who comes along to play Jacob as well as the guy from the poster of Prayer of the Roller Boys who misses from Prayer of the Roller Boys. So I'm kind of happy in the 6 degrees of separation of film of going me, Ian Somerhalder, Lost, to him, to Corey Haim and Prayer of the Roller Boys. That's really cool. But yeah, there's so many people come along in this, like Jeff Farley comes in, who was a Dark Man and Lawnmower Man. There's a couple of cameos you get, like Toombs from X-Files. A lot of there's guys, 2 of the cast from Saw come into it, and it just seems to get who's who in little bitty roles and stuff like that. And the crossover episodes are missing that, but again, it's kind of like you kind of wonder where they're going with the series, and like, you know, who's expendable and dies. I was aware that Charlie died, because again, this would have been back when I was working with the pubs in Conrad, and he would have went, oh yeah, Charlie died, and I'd be like, but I wouldn't see that episode, I'd just be aware of, oh, what happened on Lost. So there's bits and bobs. I wasn't aware that they're all dead. I really wasn't. I was like, okay. But when you're gearing up and you want to end a series, and recently I've done like Camcorder Rika and like Sleepy Hollow and that, the series I've been watching them ended, and actually had it ended. How they were going to wrap this up in one season, because you get noticed and they start like wrapping it up ridiculously quick. I think they did that with Town Call Eureka, where they're right finishing it. They got 6 weeks notice. There you go. With this, I think like they had the whole world hooked on it. At this point, it was a phenomenal. You know, multiple scripts, multiple screenplays, multiple ideas, multiple. They just fucking see how it comes out. The tumble drive, the editing system, I think, and I kind of glad it ended the way it ended. Because I got off the island, but then wanted to go back to the island, they pulled the whole Langoliers thing on you. Like, when you get back to the island, but everyone needs to be asleep. That goes. The bit at the end when they're on the church and they all come because they're all like dead and waiting to move on to the afterlife and whatever's going on with that, I was like, yeah, but where's that person? Why is that person there? And I was just a bit of inconsistency there. Like Michael, well, where's Michael? He's not there. The dog, I'm glad the dog didn't die. I'm glad I found out where the polar bears came from. The Smoke Monster was a bit of let down because I'm always a sucker for a creature feature. And, you know, Locke, I think, really turned on the creepiness, but again, I'm like where we're going with this, and needs to be answers here. Then you've got like a couple of casts from Deadwood come into it, then there's a plug hole, you open the plug hole and go down the plug hole. You had that, then you had the fucking Wheel of Time, the pendulum split of the universe, the island fucking disappears at one point. But, again, I'm glad I've actually seen it. You know, and there's that collection, and that'll just go up into the void, and, you know, when someone goes, oh, they've took it off Disney Plus or they've vaulted it, it's there. And again, I've watched that because that is a discardation. But I never played the video game. I do know that the hatch pops up in Wolverine game, which is one of the best games ever on the Xbox 360. And I think I'll just see. Oh, wait there, actually. I'm in trouble. Because I had this prepped on my phone. I went to Liverpool Comic Con. It was a bit disastrous. And I actually left my camera recording in my pocket. Now it's a part of the Liverpool Comic Con. I had a big beard. I hadn't seen Ian since Bulgaria. That's me.
That's me.
It's me?
That's the mentalness and the cue of me to stand there going, fucking just relax.
Pretty much what happened here.
A few weeks ago, right, ever since I got this...
I need to fast forward that bit of it.
Right, and I was trying to get past the massive people. I was like, why is me...
My camera was recording for an hour in my pocket.
I said, that's so fast. When I went to meet Ian, and bear in mind it's been 15 years, and bear in mind he's, again, borrowed my camera one day, went off, now megastar. Like that, he realised I knew him from the strip joint in Bulgaria. The fake strip joint, we didn't go strip joint. We had went out a few nights, but literally, that reminisce, that moment he wants stuff airdropping. Again, this video might break with some random audio of blackness.
What up, man? Dude, how are you, man? I remember we went to the tournament in Bulgaria. No fucking way, man. No fucking way. That is... Look at that image. Mate. 2 weeks in that bloody strip joint. That was wild, dude. Dude, this is freaking awesome. Yeah, man. Dude, Brett's calling you. Yeah. Dude, so I gotta beg you, bro. What's that?
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Sitting, he's went on to do crazy ass stuff, and yeah, so it was great watching the series. Didn't know when he was going to pop back in, but again, this as well though, it didn't really spoil it. The names would come up at the start, so you kind of always knew what you were in for with the episode. But again, you didn't pay too much attention. And again, the whole twisting, they never needed to change the intro, they didn't, lost. The score just came out this year as well, £55 for season 1, I was like, ooh. But I don't know if I can break the bank for that, because it's just like a standard black vinyl, and I don't really think like had so much of a score going on, not like Mark Snow and X-Files kind of era, where there's a jingle throughout the entire show. But, yeah, it's done, it's dusted, and I'll see you in the outtakes. So yeah, there's the tournament one signed on the back of the door. But yeah, good times. Obviously, no Ian Somerhalder on the original artwork. He's not even he's sort of on the American one. And there's a British one. Fun fact, actually, I might predominantly see Danny John Jules from Red Dwarf next Sunday, which would be pretty cool. And because again, most of the cast and directors and everything have signed this bit down here on the inside and stuff like that, but only Ian has actually signed the poster. And Danny John Jules wasn't in the movie, but Danny John Jules was in the original promo. And I think Danny John Jules actually plays Miles, or a hybrid of Sebastian's character, because he's cuts out the tracker. Nick Roundtree, Rachel Grant were both in the original promo what was filmed, which is the hybrid of the Laconia versus Tournament music video on this channel. And it was just a shame Danny John Jules wasn't in the tournament, obviously getting over to Bulgaria and filming that. I think it was conflicting with something he was doing at the time. But yeah, I was said it would have been cool, but I don't know how Danny would appreciate us going, oh, you want to sign the tournament? Because I don't know the reason why it wasn't in the film. I'm thinking it's a scheduling conflict, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Right, thank you for watching my random ass fucking review for Lost. I enjoyed it, and then this has just switched. And again, me doing this, crossing over to that and going that way is pretty much inspired by Lost, because I'm fucking lost. Goodbye for now.